Thank you for watching Monday Night Kickoff. I am Fidel Barraza, alongside with me, Jerry Martinez, Kendall Whitley, and Walter Stringer. How's everyone doing?
Hey, okay.
Great man.
A-okay,
Great
right?
man.
That's a good saying.
We got a great matchup in tonight's game. Baltimore at Cleveland. Of course, this game is very pivotal for the Baltimore Ravens' playoff chances, and then also for the Browns. I mean, they're not out of winning the division as Pittsburgh lost to Buffalo last night. Let me get your guys' thoughts on the game. Start off with Jerry.
Wow, man. I mean, look, I'm gonna tell you this. I was completely wrong on the Ravens, but weren't a lot of people wrong about the Ravens? I mean, we're predicting that they'd be in the actual AFC Championship this year, and I mean, I don't know what it was, but I mean, obviously, I think that it just the offensive line has caught up to the actual Ravens, and that's their weakest point.
Kendall.
Hey man, Friday. I just want to go in. I'm so excited about this game. Man. I want to look ahead this Browns and Ravens game, man. It's I can't get I can't wait for it's gonna be a good one. And then from yesterday, I mean, look what happened to the Buffalo Bills. What they did yesterday, like they just staggering that Pittsburgh Steelers offense. That was a shocker to me. And you see how physical they got with their wide receivers. So I think Buffalo is for real. That's my takeaway from yesterday.
Walt.
Yeah, I think this is a huge game for the Browns tonight. I think it's a bigger game for the Ravens, even though the Ravens need this game to stay in playoff contention. But I think it's a huge game for the Browns for the simple fact that if they want to prove all the doubters wrong and the naysayers that, oh, this is just the same old Browns, they're going to falter down the stretch. They can't beat anybody tough. The Browns need to go out tonight at home and beat the Ravens and beat the Ravens soundly because the Browns right now are the better team. So they should show it tonight.
Yeah, I think with the Browns, you have to make a statement tonight against these Ravens, right? Divisional rival. You got to kind of close the door on their playoff chances. They got two primetime games starting off tonight, and then also they'll be playing next Sunday on Sunday Night Football against the New York Giants. So, look, if you're the Browns, you still have a lot to play for.
Mhm.
I think we're going to see a dominant performance tonight from the Browns.
Yeah. What did they what's his name? Jason McIntyre. We just had him on the podcast. And if you guys haven't checked it out, I would recommend that you go, wherever you go for your podcast, listen to it. I mean, Jason McIntyre, I mean, the nuggets that he shared with us, he shared it like, I mean, he tells us how a pro goes about his day. But he had a name for Lamar Jackson. He calls him Lack Shin Jackson. So I just thought that was kind of hilarious, right? That's what he's calling him.
Yeah, I mean, to me,
I just thought it's funny, man.
there it is.
Oh,
Uh,
man.
well, look, Baltimore. I mean, they're still dealing with some injuries, right? On that defensive line. Just everyone kind of penciled in the Ravens to be in the AFC Championship. How you mentioned during the beginning of the show.
Yeah, man. It's crazy, right? Because they even made some well, they made a big trade during the middle of the season, right? Acquiring more strength to add to their actual defense. But I mean, their defense it's still not a wild defense. I mean, like if they can establish a run game kind of like they did last year, I think that'll take a lot of pressure off of Lamar. He won't be pressing, and then maybe open up the actual passing game, and then from there the defense can kind of close out the games for them. But we haven't seen that, and I think that it goes back to the offensive line. They're not giving. I mean, you're seeing the running backs getting, tackled behind the line of scrimmage, and you're also seeing Lamar getting tackled from behind the line of scrimmage. So it's just crazy, man.
What would you guys say that's the difference between the Ravens team we saw from last year, Lamar having a dominant performance all year and eventually winning the MVP of the year, to this year? I mean, he hasn't looked too great. What do you guys think the issue's been besides injuries?
I think he's regressed a little bit from last year. I mean, I know they don't have a big time wide receiver. They got Marquise Brown, but he's still young and he's mainly just a speedster. So I mean, I think they need more targets for him. I think the offensive line's kind of been in shambles a little bit. They really haven't ran the ball that well this year, and they've been playing from behind most of their games. So that's why I think the problem is with the Ravens. We've seen when you can get on top of them, they struggle. When you get up on them early, they tend to struggle a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll say what the biggest problem is. Marshall Yanda.
Madden curse.
And the Madden curse. I was about to say that too, man. I was gonna say and the Madden curse, but no, I think Marshall Yonda. I mean, he was there. I mean, that guy was always all pro, all perennial.
Stable.
I
Yep.
mean, the guy could call out the blitz packages and get the offensive line grouped up and whatnot. Without him, without that leadership on offensive line, I mean, they got to obviously we know exactly where they need to address this off season.
All right.
Well,
Let's.
you gotta realize too, Stanley's been hurt also. I think it's been a combination of things for the Ravens. You know, Marshall retiring and deciding to go be he's a bodybuilder now? I know
think
he
so.
lost. Last time we saw his picture, he lost like what 70 pounds.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, Stanley being hurt. I think, and also I think when running backs fall off that cliff, they fall off that cliff quick. And I'm thinking maybe last season was Ingram's last really strong season because they haven't really gotten much from those backs either.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. Let's talk about the Browns real quick. So, I mean, they're very quietly 9-3. I guess you can say. I mean, we've heard some buzz, but not too much, right? I mean, Baker Mayfield has been playing great football as of late. Steven Stefanski, I mean, to me, he might be Coach of the Year. Let me get your guys' thoughts. What has worked out for the Browns this year?
Walter, you go first.
I'll just say scheduling, and I think having that two-headed monster in the backfield helped out a lot because it slowed things down for Baker. So now instead of feeling, you know what, we invest the number one overall pick in this guy, so that means he inherently must throw the ball 35 times a game. And they realize that's not a level of success. That's not a recipe for success, not for a quarterback like Baker. Now, we were able to witness a guy across town in Cincinnati earlier this season, Joe Burrow, who was able to throw the ball 35, 36, 37 times, complete 70% of his throws, and not turn the ball over. So Baker's a guy who needs to be limited. But my question is, come playoff time, we know it's all about matchups. Who is the best matchup do you guys think in the AFC for the Browns in the first round if they get there?
Oh,
Tennessee.
You said Kansas City?
He said Tennessee.
Oh, Tennessee.
Tennessee.
I mean,
You don't think they can beat Buffalo?
I think they have a
Ooh.
chance to beat Buffalo.
man,
I think it'll be a very interesting game.
I don't know, man. These are all
I think it's the
interesting
Colts,
games.
honestly.
I think it's gonna be somebody. The Titans are very hard to trust, man. I think the Colts are playing some really good. They're playing some really good defense right now. They're playing good ball all
Yeah.
together, right? Their running
Yeah.
game's going. So I mean, when you look at the big picture, I'll say this: I think that the big success was they know what Baker can do and what he cannot do, and what they did was they brought in Kevin Stefanski, right? And what he comes from that lineage of kind of like that Kyle Shanahan lineage, right? Well, Mike Shanahan lineage, right? Because you had the former coach of the Texans and what's his name? It just slipped my mind right now. But anyways, we'll get back to his name. It's that zone scheme running game, and like you said, they already had Nick Chubb, and they have the two-headed monster, right? With the Hunt, right? So when you get that going, when you get the running game going, and they drafted right. They drafted well they drafted somebody from the offensive line, and they signed a big price offensive tackle as well. So they fixed those positions. They got the running game going. Now what you're seeing Baker do is you're seeing him getting out in these bootlegs, which is what he's accustomed to doing, right? So it's a lot of misdirection. And now Baker, what they're doing, what Coach Hugh Jackson says they're doing, is they're getting the ball out of Baker's hands faster, right? Not letting Baker getting out of there and taking these shots down the field, being that gunslinger that he was at at Oklahoma.
So if we go back and look at Baker's rookie season, where he threw all the touchdown passes, there was no Odell Beckham Jr. So I think it's back to him spreading the ball around.
Well,
When Odell is on the field, I don't care what anyone says. When you have an icon on the outside, whether it's Odell Beckham Jr., it's Calvin Johnson, it's Julio Jones, whoever, you feel the pressure to get that guy the football.
Oh yeah.
I don't care what any quarterback says, what any offensive coordinator says. You feel the pressure to get that guy the football. And when Odell was on the field, Jerry, you're right. We saw Baker hold that ball a lot.
A lot.
He stared down Odell a lot.
And
So-
everybody, and the defense can tee off on that kind of stuff. I mean, it's just simple. I mean, get it out of his hands, and like you said, let him spread it around.
Yep. All right, guys. Let's pick tonight's game. Sorry, Jerry.
Man, I got the Browns winning. Sorry, Ravens fans.
Kendall.
I'm gonna go Browns 27-20.
Walt.
I'm gonna go Ravens 23-20.
Ooh, upset.
All right, and I'm going to go with the Browns as well. I think the Browns just been playing outstanding ball, and I think the Ravens are going to struggle a little bit tonight.
Oh,
But
I want to know why, Walt. Why the Ravens?
I think the Ravens are coming. They're walking into a situation where they know their backs are completely against the wall.
Okay,
Do.
all right.
You know, and I feel while the Browns can rush the passer pretty well, they really don't contain the outside that well. I think if Lamar can break a few runs tonight, the Browns can find themselves in trouble.
well, I need Lamar Jackson at least to score once or twice so I can win my fantasy game tonight. So hopefully that happens. But all right, that's going to wrap up Monday Night Kickoff. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Enjoy the game and stay safe.
Peace.